There were grenades tossed in there. The arsenal that the authorities described was something, and it's somewhat shocking that only 5 police officers received minor injuries. A police dog was killed in the raid. But as it unfolded, it became clear that the French believed they had a high-value target, and even if Abba Oud was not there, the French say there's reason to believe they disrupted a cell that would have carried out more attacks.
Do we know what information led them to that location?
They said a tip, some cell phone, and some surveillance evidence, and they didn't discuss the nature of the tip, but we don't know whether they had images of certain people or what, but they closed in on this tiny apartment, and it's down a small alleyway off the beaten path in Saint-Denis, and we got a look at it from the outside. We had to climb through an old musty barn, up a ladder that was missing some rungs, and just to even get in toward the alleyway to look. And the whole thing had been blown out. The window, not just the glass from the windows, but the whole window frames, pockmarks in the wall, and it was clear that there was a significant fight that the police engaged in. They said the police had to discharge some like 5,000 rounds.
Now, there's talk that there was information they may have been planning another attack soon, this group?
Well, they said there's reason to believe that these people may have been in the apartment with intent to carry out another attack, but that may just be the suicide bombing that they encountered, the woman who blew herself up. So if someone had a suicide vest, it naturally follows that they would be having the means to carry out some other attack. They didn't really disclose the nature of whether this was a separate cell or whether it was related to Friday.
Are there more people they're looking for?
They've conducted more than 400 raids all across France since the attacks of Friday night. So they're, not all of them. In fact, most of them are not related to Friday's attacks, but a broad anti-terrorism crackdown using the powers granted to the police under the state of emergency, which the French president wants extended.
So I presume everybody on their watch list is now getting roughed up and having their apartments trashed?
Yeah, look, it's not unlike what the U.S. did just before July 4th, right? When anybody with a thought that they may have supported ISIS they got rounded up in one fashion or other by the FBI, and so I think the French are doing the same thing, just trying to clean house with whatever suspicious characters they have, and they can do it because of the state of emergency. And it's those kinds of powers that the French president said may need to be extended, so he doesn't have to declare a state of emergency. The police can just start to go in and search and seize and detain.
And this is a special law? Was it recently enacted?
It's a special law. The way it needs to be enacted under a state of emergency for the police to have these powers, the way the law is written. Part of the reason he wants the Constitution changed is I don't think he wants to have to declare a state of emergency just to go in and try and get somebody. So that's going to be a part of the political debate going forward.
All right, Aaron, thanks for that report.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Aaron Katersky, ABC News consultant, and we got him on the air again from Paris. Some media outlets are saying that this group may have been considering attacking at the airport in France, I guess Charles de Gaulle, or possibly a shopping mall, or both. The other thing that's going on is some media outlets are reporting that the mastermind is dead, but most are saying they're still trying to use DNA to confirm this guy's identity. Is Abdelhamid Abba Aoud, who's in his late 20s.
Yeah, the Washington Post is claiming senior intelligence officials, quoting them, that he's dead. He also bragged a lot about how he could slip easily between Europe and the Islamic State.
Well,
so
he did.
He did.
When they went to try to kill him in Syria, he was probably already in Belgium, or maybe even in France, just a month ago.
So this is why you have to restrict all crossings at the border.
Yeah, if you
and
can't,
you have to be very restrictive with the airlines and the trains as well.
This guy was supposed to be a key person to the ISIS leader, this Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. They believe that this guy, Abba Aoud, is probably the link between the top ISIS guys in Syria and their operations in Europe. I mean, this was an important one. If he can slip back and forth, that's scary.
Well, so what? So they're incompetent?
He disguises himself well? Fake IDs? I don't know.
Is it all just theater?
Or open borders like us?
Exactly. Does anybody do their jobs right when they've got this kind of responsibility in government? Here, France, everywhere else. Does anyone do their job properly? You have one of the highest-ranking ISIS official. I mean,
officials. Yeah.
I mean,
thugs.
I had to stop because you call him an official, you make it sound like he's a guy in a suit and a tie with a briefcase. Yeah, but he's one of the top thugs, and he's moving in and out, even bragging about it, and he's right in the middle of this blast. And is it just beyond the capabilities of intelligence bureaucrats and law enforcement to stop a guy like this from passing through?
Needle in a haystack.
Why is it so hard? Well, I mean, you've got to check everybody coming through. I mean, especially people coming from Syria. That's not that hard. God, they weigh us down with, like here in this country, with long lines to inspect our bags for all kinds of nonsense.
Well, I don't think there's a plane that arrives from Syria at Charles de Gaulle Airport and they sit there and scrutinize it. These guys are finding other ways to get in.
Well, you take a train, you take a bike,
and they can go through other countries before they get there,
well,
right?
You've got to
blend in. All right, well, we'll talk more about this. When you usually hear that family members are aghast because one of theirs has been, remember the Sarnaev brothers and their crazy parents?
Yeah.
Not the case with this guy who may be dead, the mastermind, Abdelhamid Abaoud, because there's a great story in the New York Times that they're glad he's dead too if he is. Coming up.
John and Ken Show, KFI, Libby Dinkman is news.
A man has been stabbed.